doing pageants probably since I was about 19. So I learned at an early age that this is a business. It's the industry, just like anything else. And from learning about pageants, it led me to believe that, you know, it's just like a job interview. It doesn't matter if it's 15 contestants, it can be 20 contestants. Those judges are looking for the person that they feel is going to represent them best. And sometimes you haven't worked your name up to that. So sometimes it's like, even now today, there's many pageants that you'll go in and you may be good, but it doesn't mean you're the best. And so sometimes people are just going to overlook you. Everyone, that's why I feel like they have like certain sororities or fraternities. Sometimes you just don't belong. And it's not that you're not good enough, but everything doesn't fit everybody. Sometimes they're looking for a specific aesthetic when it comes to pageantry and certain looks. In some instance, it's about politics. It's really political, just like anything else is in life.
Now, do you think that your road to pageantry, is that the only goal you're trying to achieve? Is that how you make a living right now?
Well, no, honestly, I've always been kind of career driven and goal oriented. I set myself up a very long time ago. I'm actually an insurance agent for Allstate. I've been with them for about 2
Oh.
years. So, you know, I enjoy pageants, but I also know what this industry is very fickle. Like, you may be the girl today, but girls are coming out every moment. Girls are coming out every second. So tomorrow I might not be that girl. So I've always found a way to, you know, push myself out there to be in the corporate world, because as we all know, pageants come and go, fame comes and goes. People may live for you today and tomorrow they might not even like you. So I've always set myself up to make sure I had something to fall back on.
Wonderful.
I encourage people, you know, don't just rely on one thing. You know, I always encourage my friends, a few friends that I do have, I always tell them, you know, always set yourself up, because if something happens, you want to be financially stable to continue your livelihood. Like right now, we don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic. A lot of girls that I know, you know, they used female impersonation or drag as a career. And unfortunately, some of those girls now are struggling because of, you know, what's going on. And it's really unfortunate. So.
Now, do you recommend, like I was talking to one of the performers from Florida. She has a show coming up on my channel soon. She said to me that the girls today need to understand that they need a second career, and there is no other alternative, because like you said, drag is not for certain. Now, we see that because I just want to put it out there that I want to talk about the RuPaul Drag Race for a minute, because he mentioned it. Now, what do you think? You don't have to elaborate. We know it's good. The RuPaul Drag Race is good for putting us in the mainstream.
Right.
Something that a lot of the national pageants have been trying to do for decades. Now, do you think that it's a good thing or a bad thing with the way drag looks now that is represented in the mainstream?
I think with the RuPaul's Drag Race, I think it's a great avenue for a lot of girls to make a livelihood or to make a career out of it. But I don't think, in my honest opinion, I don't think that RuPaul has basically done anything that anybody else hadn't done. I think he was very smart and genius in branding it to make sure it was brought to the forefront. But girls have been doing that for years. I mean, it's a lot of people. I can name a lot of entertainers that have been doing this for years. I don't think they probably used all the avenues that they had that RuPaul has done. But I mean, history repeats itself. I just think he was able to get involved with people who can push him into a network that allowed it to be on television. But we've been doing this for years. Drag has been around for decades. You know, some of the girls from when I was growing up as a little girl, you know, like Tommy Ross, Naisha, Tasha Long, those girls have been doing this for years. Unfortunately, maybe back then they didn't have the resources or the finances to get involved or get in positions where they could meet executives to bring it to the forefront to television networks. But RuPaul had those avenues. So I applaud that, because it's still in some way giving back to the community of which we love and employing some of those girls who probably wouldn't have even had an opportunity so big. You know, I always tell this story all the time. if I had not been involved in female impersonation, I probably would not have experienced a lot of the things that I've experienced, like traveling to a lot of different places, meeting so many different people, getting opportunities that I have. So I'm glad that it was brought to the forefront because it opens up people's objective that we're human just like everybody else and we deserve the same respect. All of us are not out killing, murdering, or doing certain things. It shows that we're thriving individuals who are talented, intelligent, and we have things and goals and desires that we want as well. So I'm very glad that all, intertwined with being a part of who we are to show a different side of what we can become.
Wonderful. Now, another thing, this has bugged me a lot. Pageants in general are focused in the South, even though there's a lot of pageants in the Midwest and all of that. Those girls seem to always get passed up for girls from Texas, Florida, New York, places that you think a lot of the female impersonators who want to be in the business would gravitate towards those cities. Why is it that you think Chicago, Texas, and Florida have the biggest pageants and the other cities, which are so close to them, and they constantly don't get any recognition? I never hear anything about Iowa, Oklahoma, Kansas, all these places around there, North Dakota, South Dakota. You don't hear anything from a lot of the Midwest states. You hear very little even from Louisiana or Mississippi, but you do hear about Jacksonville for other reasons.
Yeah.
Now, what is it that you think the girls in the Midwest are missing? Why is it?
I think a lot of it, to me, and this is just me speaking, I've held several national titles, and I think for me, it's all about the representation. A lot of times people are intimidated by what they really don't understand. It's like if you don't, because I'm the type of person, I don't care where you're from. If I feel that I want to talk to you, I'm going to talk to you. I'm a very approachable person, so I can be anywhere. And like right now, I'm Miss Western Classic, and I'm also Miss Heavenly. So if I see somebody that I know that does female impersonation and they do pageants, but I've never seen them compete in any pageants that I've competed in, then those are the girls that I'm targeting because these are people that I feel like a lot of people don't target and they already feel like they don't have a chance. So those are the girls that I'm looking for because I want to build those relationships and possibly go places that I've never been. But a lot of times people are afraid because of how someone may have treated them. They may have, and don't get me wrong, a lot of times we look up to people on videotapes that we see because we don't know them and we assume they're one way and then you meet them, they're totally snobby. So of course those girls are not going to run to go to those particular pageants because they've now had an interaction with who they thought was the T and they didn't treat them the way they thought they should have. So that, to me, that's what it is. It's all about how you treat a person. And then a lot of times girls feel like they can't compete where they don't compare. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
I understand.
Because it goes back to that thing of self-doubt. Well, if such and such look a certain way and oh, I don't look like that, so I'm not gonna go. But it's all about grooming yourself. You have to, you have to study. If you want to be it, you have to study, you have to do the homework. And then sometimes I feel like it's okay if you don't understand. It's still okay for you as a person to reach out to the people you want to be a part of. Because if you don't ask them, somebody has to make the communication or the first step. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, entering pageants, you would really think that the girls are looking for opportunity. But like you just said, that the girls are more about fitting in and looking a certain way. So that means that they're really willing to risk their livelihood to just really fit in and not get the real opportunity for maybe making more money, making connections, buying themselves a house, looking for opportunities that can benefit them instead of aesthetically looking for validation. Now, do you think pageants are relevant? Do you think they're really relevant? And is there anything